5 lead changes, back and forth game the whole way. Jaden Daniels leads the game-winning drive for 10 plays, 51 yards, 4:41 on the clock. Pop, how you doing, man?
Unbelievable. They just keep topping themselves.
Smiles,
Boys did it. Playoff victory.
I feel like for me, honestly, we had some people over. It was such a close game. You win in the fashion that you won. Guys, Commanders 23-20 on a game-winning field goal that is a doink by Zane Gonzalez. Goes off the inside of the crossbar and then goes through. For me right now, honestly, this is going to be a pretty raw podcast. I'm just feeling it now. The emotion, the joy of the situation is just setting in as I'm sitting here talking to you about it. I feel like it feels real now. And I can't believe it.
So let it flow, son. Let it flow.
This is just incredible. I mean, it's been 20 years. I was 7 years old the last time this team won a playoff game.
Crazy.
I don't remember it.
That's crazy.
I don't remember it at all. I remember how bad being a fan of this team sucked for the 20 years in between now and then. And to get to today is like, it's incredible. Getting on FaceTime with some of my buddies back from Clarksville, Columbia area. Shout out Ryan and Hamza, getting on FaceTime with those boys after that game and just seeing the smiles and knowing I'm going to get on here and do this with you, Pop, and talking to all my friends. It's unbelievable. I mean, my phone, like you said, my phone got hot at the end of that because everybody was just blowing up my phone, texting me, congratulating me. They know what it means to me. They know what it means to us, to the city of DC, to everybody. And after the week I've had, that was pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because it's so unifying, right? Like even family members that aren't even Commanders fans are watching every play and getting stressed about it and texting us about it and happy for us. And then people that maybe weren't as into the team are getting into it. It's just amazing. And yeah, I mean, you can feel the emotion flowing. Obviously, Dom is out in LA and it was a really difficult week. He was close a couple of times. Luckily, he's safe where he's at, but the devastation that's been going out there, all our, prayers out to the group there. Very proud of Dominic and Morgan for what they've been doing for the community, especially Morgan. She's been doing a heck of a lot to help out with everyone out there. So just a quick moment of that, but getting back to the game, it's just incredible. And I think, people are going to talk about the doink because that's the headline. But when you get the ball back and it's a tie game with 4:41 left, I mean, they're going to, Terry McLaurin said it in his presser after the game, we decided we're not giving them the ball back. That's an incredible drive to burn 4 minutes and 41 seconds off the clock. That is not easy to do. That's incredible. You can focus on the doink all you want. And the run that Jaden had at the end of that, convert that 3rd and 1 so they can run the clock out and just kick what should have been an easy 37-yard field goal. This team deserved to win this game. This team was deserving. It was a back and forth. It was a pretty even match. We know that. I'm not going to get into the better team won or any of that, but this team deserved to win in this game. And that last drive was a thing of beauty. It really was. And
shout out to Todd Bowles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. What a football team.
Yeah.
What a well-coached, well-prepared football team. They put up the best fight that any team has put up against us this season. In my opinion, I thought they just played so well.
Best game of the weekend by far. I mean, not even close.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not even a competition. One of the best games of the year. They just completely matched us blow for blow the whole way. Like, just such a good team. Baker Mayfield, not enough good things to say about him as a player and the way he's matured and grown up. And I mean, you let the guy beat you on 3rd and 9, and you're going. I see Baker leave the pocket, and I go, "There's no way he's going to get this." And he's running dudes over like he's a fullback.
He's a tough
But
son of a gun, man.
I
He
love
is
him.
a tough son of a gun.
I love him as a football player.
Yeah.
This is not a Tampa Bay podcast. This is a Commanders podcast, and this is a podcast of two guys that just bleed burgundy and gold. Pop for a few years longer than me, and I gotta say, this just feels absolutely incredible to be here. The whole game, just in it the whole way. It wasn't one of those where we started slow and heated up towards the end. It was just the whole way, blow for blow. It was 10-10 at the half, 5 lead changes, back and forth game the whole way. Jaden Daniels leads the game-winning drive for 10 plays, 51 yards, 4:41 on the clock. Amazing 3rd-and-1 run there to set up the field goal. Just a fantastic play, and so smart for him to just get down immediately, get to the hash that they wanted to get to, get Gonzalez comfortable. And
that,
just
I mean, so many great plays in that drive. That throw to De'Ami Brown on 3rd down was amazing. Even the screen pass to Eckler, that was a tight spot, but he stuck with the play, and then Eck made a great run. Just can't say enough about that game-winning drive. I mean, when you're the opposing team and you're looking at it and you're saying there's 4:41 left, you're thinking to yourself, tie game. You're thinking if we just get a stop or just at least get a situation where we have enough time on the clock to respond if they score. And I mean, they never got the ball back.
Yep.
That is really good football. That is really good football.
Beautiful. And one thing, so Peyton Manning was a pretty good football player, right?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, Peyton Manning did a few good things in his career. Peyton Manning is the only other quarterback in NFL history to win a road game with no punts and no turnovers.
And he wasn't a rookie. And he wasn't a rookie when he did it.
And he was not a rookie. It was 2003 when he did it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm speechless. It was a bad place to be when you're recording a post-game podcast, but I'm speechless when it comes to Jaden Daniels.
I mean, he was under incredible pressure. I thought the Tampa defense balled out.
So good.
They just were punishing him. I mean, you saw the picture of the cut cheek. I mean, he took some shots.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't, we'll get into the stats later when we get into our awards, but it wasn't like a crazy good rushing in terms of yards or yards per attempt. I mean, the whole team, they shut our rush game down completely. But when he had to have it like that, like 3rd-and-1, he made guys miss, and he had some other, really good runs to pick up crucial for first downs. Yeah, I mean, the guy is just, you got to give credit. We got some great performances. Terry was Terry. De'Ami Brown, my bold prediction.
Yep, great call.
Who's going to make a big difference? And Eck, to your credit,
I thought really well too.
Eck played really well too. But so there were some really good performances from some other guys. Gonzalez came up big. I mean, the last kick was a squeezer, but he was solid throughout the game. It was back and forth. It was typical game from our boys, right? There are moments you thought it was gone, and then there's some real pivotal moments throughout this game.
Yeah. Just so many moments where it's just like if that one play went differently, you might look at a whole different game. And both ways, I mean, there were a few times we didn't have anything. I didn't realize Jaden was as efficient as he was. I felt like it almost wasn't his best night through the air, but that's just clearly incorrect. That was just me being stressed out looking at the numbers here. It was just an unbelievable night. One disappointing thing was Lattimore. Definitely struggled against Mike Evans. Good halftime adjustments to get him off of Evans and to kind of slow down Evans. I think the initial game plan, Chris Collinsworth reported, the initial game plan was actually to double team Evans and get Lattimore to shut down the other side of the field against the lesser wide receivers. And Lattimore said, hell no. And
they shouldn't have listened to him.
They trusted him. Bad. I think it's good coaching in that's what Dan Quinn does. He trusts his guys and respect, but you should have moved off of him sooner, and he burnt us. So it's an ego check for everybody involved there. Mike Evans still a heck of a football player. Lattimore looks about worth a third-round pick right now.
Well, but I mean, look, he hasn't played this year.
He's out of shape.
Yeah. So to come off, an injury, get yourself back and just
100%.
come in cold and try to shut down one of the best receivers in the game is just really hard to do.
Yeah.
I was happy they made adjustments. It was a much better situation in the second half. You didn't notice Evans nearly as much. He ended up with 7 catches for 92 yards. And I looked up in the first half, he had 5 catches for 66 yards, a touchdown, and that PI call in the end zone, which was just an atrocious play.
St. Juice-esque there.
He just gave up on it and
awful.
Begged the ref to throw a flag. Tough night, but it was good that we didn't notice Lattimore too much in the second half. So he obviously did his job in the second half, and they just got to be more realistic with a guy. I'd still rather have him out there by far than the alternative.
25, yeah. But it did what he had to do. I saw 25 getting some snaps in the slot tonight. I thought that was interesting. There were a few sequences Lattimore wasn't out there for. Mikey Sanderstill is a phenomenal football player. He is so good. And it's funny because when you talk about a Dan Quinn defensive back, he likes real fast, tall, long, rangy guys. And Sanderstill is the opposite of that. Shorter, stockier, physical. Did you know, Pop, this is Mike Sanderstill's 3rd year playing cornerback ever. He went to Michigan as a wide receiver. He played wide receiver there his freshman and sophomore year. He switched to DB his junior year. This is his 3rd year ever playing cornerback, and in my opinion, he's playing at a top 10 level across the NFL right now. I think
it's incredible,
sensational.
And you see that early in the season he was struggling, and you could see he wasn't quite caught up to the speed of the game, and that tells you that nugget. I did know that, but I would say I'd kind of forgotten it. I hadn't thought about it in a while, but that nugget tells you the upside he has, right? I mean, he's can develop so much and get so much better. I'm sure
he's a superstar.
The more experience that he gets. So, we should, if we can get a lot more healthy. And anyway, I don't even want to talk about next year because we got playoff. We got another week of games, another week of podcasts. I don't even want to hear about it. We got the Lions next week. We'll talk a little more about that later. But just incredible. I mean, we jump out to a 10-3 lead. They have a great drive. You got to give the other team credit sometimes, and they have a great 2-minute drive at the end of the half to tie the game up. And like you said, it's just a back and forth. I mean, I give the defense credit for the most part, but then Baker came up big in terms of, I think he had a couple of really nice drives to not only tie the game twice, but also take the lead on one drive. So that was great. Just great to get this win. I was thinking all, weekend of how great it would be to just get one more week, just get one more week of this. Just extend it a little bit longer and get a playoff win. And you think about the year Jaden's had, and now he's got a playoff win with a game-winning drive under his belt. I mean, just incredible, really. I just want to protect the kid at this point, put him in a bubble, and get him ready to go. I'm sure they'll battle like crazy, next week. But what a great performance! And I know, like you said, you look at the stat line and you look at the play. I'll tell you one thing that kind of went underreported. On the fourth down play that we didn't convert the touchdown, the one right before the fumble that the Bucs had, where he threw the ball to Ertz. Ertz got mugged on
They
that
showed
play.
that. They showed that on the broadcast, and
He got mugged.
Steratori or whoever the ref official that works with the broadcast crew said that's a foul. That's pass interference ball on the 1 yard line. They said it on the broadcast.
So I thought like
about that,
I thought that was poor. When I saw it live, I thought poor throw by Jaden, and actually he put the ball right where it needed to be. Ertz just got mugged. So I guess the point I was trying to make was, it didn't look like he was necessarily having his best game throwing the ball, but we've just raised the bar so high for him. We want perfection every time, and he's caused that. But he had some great throws, and obviously, was able to extend plays. They were moving the ball. Two missed fourth down conversions, one on a questionable referee call, the other one early in the game on the first drive in the red zone. That's what made me. I know you were kind of calling game when we got down, when Tampa took the lead, and then it's just your emotions running wild. So I won't pick on you for that, but I was thinking to myself, we've been moving the ball, so I feel good about our opportunity to continue to move the ball. And we weren't able to finish. Didn't get much help from the refs on that one play, but just exciting stuff. But like I said, a deserved win by the boys. If you want to maybe finish off, a couple of key points here in the stats, and maybe we can get on to the awards.
I gotta clear up one thing, Pop. So I text you when we won. I text you, let's go. You said UFB. I got a feeling what the F means, but what does that mean? Or did you just have a
believable?
Unfreaking believable. Okay, good. I agree. I thought it was a typo.
Is that what's got you locked up right now?
I've never seen that before. I'm totally fried, guys.
These kids today.
My God. I can't believe it. What we just saw was sensational. What I was looking up was Jaden Daniels' stats in week 1 versus the Bucs. He was 17 for 24, 184 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he had 16 rush attempts for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. And we saw to see the evolution as to where he landed tonight. 24-35, 268 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, 13 rushes, 36 yards, not as efficient on the ground, but key scrambles where he needed them, and they were obviously so much more keyed on that. Only took 1 sack. That was pretty early on in the game. And to only take 1 sack against the Todd Bowles defense is pretty impressive. Because
the pressure he was under, only taking 1 sack was unreal.
I tell you what, Todd Bowles, if you ever get fired in Tampa Bay, you are going to get a blank check for a defensive coordinator position somewhere, because you are just such a good defensive football coach. Such a good coach. I love that attitude they have there. I hope we can kind of get enough personnel. I think that's the style of defense that we want to run. I just don't think we have the personnel for it right now. I hope next couple off seasons we can brush that up.
I felt like our D did a pretty good job matching their defensive intensity.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously found something with Evans and going to him, but they weren't able to do it consistently throughout the game. We got a lot of key stops. But getting back to your Jaden point, I would just say this. We saw a rookie play that first game. We saw one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, top 5 guy, play in this last game against Tampa Bay. And that evolution, like you said, has just been amazing to watch. And if there's reason for optimism about their future, and there's so many reasons. Adam Peters, Dan Quinn, a lot of these players on the team, which you can rattle off. But, and I got a feeling a lot of these key vets are going to want to come racing back to sign the contracts for next year.
Yeah.
And Jaden's just amazing and just such a great kid.
Yeah.
Just such a great kid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You can't say enough good things about that. I'm trying to think. Funny story, right before that fumble, literally in between plays, between the play that happened before the fumble and the play of the fumble, my buddy Millen, who came over to watch the game tonight, goes, "We need a turnover or something." And then the next play, fumble, and we got the ball, and we all went, "Oh my God, he called it!" And that, I think, was the turning point of the game right there, that fumble.
Yeah, and people will call that luck, but a really good friend of mine was texting with me before the game, not even a Commanders fan, and he was just wishing me luck, and he said, "It's the team that avoids mistakes or makes the least mistakes is going to win this game." And that was a mistake. It wasn't forced by us, but it was a mistake they made, and we played mistake-free football, right? Other than, the PI call and a couple of penalties, which are going to happen. But in terms of turnovers, we played mistake-free ball. And, thinking of that with the amount of pressure that defense was putting on us is pretty amazing. So they make a key mistake. We don't. And then we're able to take advantage of that mistake on an incredible fourth down touchdown pass from Jaden Nateri, which is about one of my favorite things all time in sports, not even just right now. Jaden Nateri is just love seeing Jaden Nateri. 5-17.
Yeah, it was just, and then they came out early and often, and I called it out on that first deep ball on the third down play. I said, I said, signal high safety, and Terry's in press coverage. And I saw Terry, I was watching, as soon as they stopped the ball, I saw Terry's release. And whatever Stugotz was covering Terry there, gave him a free release, and you can't give Terry McLaurin a free inside release. You cannot do that, and he paid for it immediately. And just a fantastic throw and catch on that first drive. One
How
thing
about the huevos on Dan Quinn?
I was going to say that.
Go for it.
Every time.
Unbelievable.
I loved it. Every single one of those situations. So I was going back and forth with Morgan about it because Morgan's like, we'd have a better lead if we kicked field goals, whatever. And she's not wrong.
She's not wrong. The thought crossed my mind.
Look, we've been the best team in the NFL on fourth down all year. This is how we win the game. It's like what you said to me about Lamar yesterday. I texted you yesterday. I said, Lamar got to stop running the ball. They're up by 3 touchdowns. They're going to win. You said, that's his game. This is our game. We're the best team in the NFL on fourth down. We're incredibly aggressive on fourth down. This is what we do. You go out. You lose the game playing your game. You don't lose the game getting conservative and tucking tail, which there have been. The amount of conservative football this weekend has made me sick to my stomach. Mike Tomlin, you should be ashamed of yourself. So many teams played such disgustingly conservative football this weekend. When it counts, when it matters, you need to be aggressive. You need to lose the game with the ball in your hands. And that's what we were willing to do today. And so my buddy texted me, he goes, I hate all the fourth downs. And I said, I love it. I said, it's a strong suit of the team. This is what we do well. This is what we've done well all year. You don't go away from it this time of the year. You go down. It's like telling Steph Curry to stop shooting 3-pointers in a final game. You don't do it. This is what we do. This is the identity of the team. This is what the team gets behind. And I loved it. I loved every single one. And all the situations they went for, it made a lot of sense. All of them made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I had no issue with each of the decisions at the time they were made. And I think they talked about it on the broadcast. Dan Quinn thought winning the time of possession was so important. And he felt by going for fourth downs and obviously converting fourth downs, you keep the ball out of the Bucs' hands. So there was a strategy behind it for sure. And, it all worked out in the end. And, like we said, that fourth and 2 at the 5 touchdown pass to Terry was terrific to take the 2017 lead.
Yeah, it was. That pass was awesome. I lost my mind after that pass. It was just so good, and you just see it, and you just see 17, and you see the throw, and it's perfect, and you see the catch, and it's perfect, and it's Terry McLaurin to Jaden Daniels. It's the highest quarterback rating duo in the NFL. It is just the best combination. It's like peanut butter and jelly. It's like sauce and sundaes. It is just perfect.
I love that.
Speaking of sauce and sundaes, we'll get to the awards in just a second here. One last quick point before I roll into that. Commanders had 350 total yards and a 35-25 time of possession battle versus 284 yards and 24-34 time of possession for the Bucs. So definitely, the team that did more won tonight. We had like 5 red zone trips, I think. We only got 23 points out of it. So that's where some of that aggression falls back on you a little bit. And maybe you could have had an extra 6 points or something like that towards the end of the game. You might not have had to sweat that doink as much. But got it done. Got what needed. The red zone offense has to be cleaned up. We'll talk about that in the podcast next week. But we got it done. We got the win.
I'll tell you what, I'm excited, but for time check guy, it's 12:20 on the East Coast. Your boy has to work tomorrow. Let's get to the awards.
Oh yeah, Papa's gonna be cross-eyed. What time's that first meeting tomorrow, Pop?
I don't even want to say. Well, let's get to these awards.
I got one at noon and I'm sweating it. Let's get to the awards here. Jaden Daniels Sauce Award. It's the Jaden Daniels Award. We are going to have to come up with something for next year for what to do about this because it's like, at a certain point.
I don't mind. Keep giving them to him.
You think the Ravens podcast get on and does Lamar Jackson player of the game every week? Like at a certain point, we got to find something. But for this year, man, you can't sing the guy's praises enough. 24 for 35. I did the math. That's 68% completion on the road in a playoff game as a rookie. Find me anybody that's done that. 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, 13 rushes for 36 yards, only 1 sack. I read the numbers off earlier today. They get sweeter the second time you read them. Listen to them again. Rewind 30 seconds. I bet it'll sound even better the third time you've heard it. It is just fantastic. Jaden Daniels, you have changed. I mean, my girlfriend who hated football, like actively disliked football 3-4 years ago. And Lord knows Ron Rivera didn't give her any reasons to get excited about it, is wearing a Terry McLaurin jersey and telling our friends who came over for the game tonight, hey, all those plans I had for my birthday, scrap them. I want to watch the Lions game with all of you together, and then we'll all go out after. But just
after we podcast.
That is, I don't know. It'll be since the Saturday game, it'll be a Sunday pod, that one. But that right there is what it's all about, man. You have changed this franchise. You have changed people's lives. You have changed the city of Washington, D.C. You've done more for D.C. than any political figure in the last 2 decades has done, decade, however long you want to go back. Jaden Daniels, you are the effing man. I have nothing. You'll never have to buy a beer if I'm within 30 miles of you. I'll tell you that much. Just the best guy and seems like an even better person.
I don't have a problem. You apologize for giving Sauce Awards every week. I don't have a problem with it. He's the best player on the field. We'll keep giving them to him for the next 10 years. I don't care. We don't need to change anything. Keep giving them to him.
How about the MVP chance, which, by the way, he's a bruised rib away from being a contender, in my opinion. But how about the MVP chance raining down in the stadium, in the away
represented
stadium?
In Tampa.
Amazing, amazing. I know we had some friends go out to the game in Tampa Bay. And, man, it's just awesome. Shout out to all you guys who traveled there and got down there. It's so cool. Helmet stickers, Terry McLaurin, 7 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown, completely galvanized the team. That's your guy. At the end of the game, you've got Jaden Daniels, you've got Terry McLaurin, and you've got Bobby Wagner, who also gets a helmet sticker. 8 tackles to lead the team, half a sack, 1 quarterback hit. Bobby Wagner set the tone for this game. Bobby Wagner came out with his hair on fire in that first game. Give him 3 years, 4 years. You signed that guy. I don't care how old he is. Keep him under contract until he's 40. I don't care if he pays some dead money. He needs to retire in burgundy and gold. I don't care if he takes it down.
No, I mean, as long as I agree. As long as he's able to play, for sure. And I think he's got a little football left, and he's certainly getting everything he can out of what he's got.
Guys, second team all. He's doing more than getting everything he can out of all he's got. He's second team all pro. He's top 4 at his position.
Incredible.
I don't care if he's 25.
2 all-pro linebackers.
Yeah.
2 all-pro linebackers.
Yeah, David Mayo and what was the other guy's name? Cody Barton. Oh, spot on. We've come a long way. We've come a long way, even from week 1. And speaking of coming a long way, De'Ami Brown, his best game as a Washington football player. He's played under all 3 names, I think. But his best game as that. 5 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Pop's bold prediction came up, and every single play he made was a key play, was a confident catch. He's a guy that I think you could probably keep him around for not a ton of money, and by the end of that contract, that probably starts to look like some pretty good value. I think Diami may be coming on, and I'm a fan of his, which I never thought. I mean, we were on here making fun of him and saying, "Oh, well, Mike Samersill's going to get to wear number 2 because Diami's going to get cut, so no big deal." We were on here laughing about that a few months ago, and for him to blossom into what he's blossomed into this season is fantastic.
You got to give credit to you got to give credit to coaches there, right? Because something's changed. There's a switch that's gone off with this kid. Because, and I mean, I noticed it from early in the year. He was injured for a little bit, and he didn't always get opportunities. But here's a guy I just thought was soft. I thought fast kid, tall, but soft. Doesn't want to go across the middle.
Maybe doesn't love it.
And now he like seeks out contact. When they get him balls on the screens.
How about that? How about the too small after you truck the guy? You never thought you'd do that.
He looks like a completely different guy. And I agree. I hope we can bring him back. And I mean, it's evidence a little bit of, what Dan said. We don't have, like Dan Quinn said, about not having an absolute number 2. Yeah, I think if there is a number 2 on this team at this stage of the season, it's clearly Diami Brown, because he's been coming on, the last several games, not just this one. And this was a great performance. He also got the key PI there as well. Just a great performance by him.
Yeah. Heck of a football player, man. It's been exciting to come on now. I think he had unfair standards when he came in. He came in as a 3rd-round guy, and the last receiver that we drafted in the 3rd round was Terry McLaurin. So I think a lot of the fan base immediately thought, okay, this guy's going to be an animal. And in reality, those late-round guys, you usually draft to be decent backups or fringe starters for a few years on their cheap rookie contracts, and maybe they develop into something. And so we're seeing Diami develop into what could be a very serviceable wide receiver, which already is a very serviceable wide receiver, and could be maybe a decent wide receiver too across the league if he continues on this trajectory. Big fan of what he's done tonight. Bobby Wagner, we already read him off for you. 8 tackles, led the team, half sack, quarterback hit. What Bobby Wagner has done for this program. Shout out to our boy Lou Holder, who came on here for the pregame podcast, and he said we wanted to talk, or the preseason podcast, we wanted to talk about who's going to be the quarterback and Jaden Daniels and all these things, and he could not stop talking about the impact that Bobby Wagner has had on this franchise. I think he was texting us about that and just saying Bobby Wagner has done or will do incredible things for this team and has changed the way this team looks. So shout out to Lou, friend of the program, and was 100% right about that. I'm sure Lou's having a good night tonight as well. But shout out Bobby Wagner. And finally, our last helmet sticker of the day, Zane Gonzalez. 3 for 3 field goals.
He almost blew
it. The game winner. Oh, how thin the line is between a helmet sticker and a Kikatsu of the game, right? I mean, we're talking inches. And that
went in.
It went in.
It was on the inside of the post. It went in.
Yep. It's good. And I tell you what, that ball was in the air for 28 minutes. It felt like. That ball was in the air for so long, and I'm watching it drift right and right and right. And I'm like, we're good. Like, as I see it start moving right, I'm going, we're fine. It's in. We're good. It's in. We're good. It's in. And then it just kept drifting, and it hadn't gone through the uprights yet. And then I saw it hit the upright. And the second I saw it hit the upright, in my head, I went, that's in. Like, it's on the inside of the upright. I think we're good. But I had to wait.
Good eyes.
I had to wait just for a second. I was about this far from the TV.
So Dominic, with the second by second, like the millisecond by millisecond.
I mean, what did we all not go through? Did we all not go through the same thing?
It was agonizing. It's interesting. Like, watching it with MC, my wife, and And she's going, why are we doing this? Why are we just killing time? Why are we just, because it's nerve wracking, but it was the right thing to do. It was 37-yard kick, but he had a big 52-yarder. Was really solid, made all his extra points, made all his kicks.
Yeah.
Just probably, I don't know, I'm sure he's never been in that situation before. So you could tell he was nervous. Hopefully gets those nerves out of his system if he's got to hit another big one later. But overall, I think Zane's been a pretty good find given, the circumstance for this team.
Yeah. Hey, the guy that was supposed to be the guy, Brandon McManus, obviously you know about all the off the field stuff. He squeezed a pretty bad one in Green Bay today against Philly. He ended up in Green Bay and he squeezed a key field goal that ended up kind of changing the complexion of that game. So when your kicker goes 3 for 3 and hits a game winner, you're grateful. It doesn't matter how you get there. Our kickats of the game gets mixed into all of this, which is that doink. We talked about it. I already broke it down for you, so we don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but that is officially our kickats of the game. I would say the missed Ertz PI call has got to be up there as well.
I just thought it was like, again, kickats is a multifaceted word. Means a lot of things. It's always not negative. It also could be, man, kickats, that was close. And that was, imagine he missed it. The game's not over at that point. But, woo. But yeah, the missed PI is a good call by you. That's a good call. So I don't know if was there any other guys, and giving you 30 seconds here, any other guys we didn't call out that you thought we should have called out for a helmet sticker?
Helmet sticker, no. I thought a couple guys made some key plays. I thought Deron Payne, before he busted up that finger, had a couple nice plays. I thought Johnny Newton got his name called, had a pretty key tackle for loss.
You mentioned Sanders still played well.
Sanders still is just, I'm going to get his jersey next year. I think this is going to be my Jaden jersey, which is a shame because I have been so scorned by quarterbacks that I bought a fake $30 Chinese jersey, but I think I'm sticking with this for Jaden. But I think Sanders still is going to be my next jersey next year for sure. Whatever. But yeah, it's a heck of a night. Zacchaeus had some key catches. I thought Eckler played really well. Still continue to have concern at running back.
The run game is not hasn't gotten going at all. But maybe some of it is people being so concerned about Jaden running that they're just loading up. I don't know. Anyway, we can talk about that midweek. Yeah. It is now 12:30. We're going to wrap this sucker.
God bless.
Hail to the Commanders.
He's been patient, but he's absolutely hit the wall. He's dying over there.
Let's do this. Let's wrap it. I love it. We have another one next week to talk about. We got Detroit. What is it? Saturday night, 8 p.m.
Saturday night at 8 p.m.
We're already an 8.5-point dog, according to our good friend Ken. So let's go get those Lions.
Why not us, baby? Why not us? They better, tell you what, those Detroit Lions better blow us out. They better not let Jaden Daniels have that ball with 3-4 minutes left in the game. And it'd be a meaningful possession. They better blow our doors off.
We'll talk about it in pregame, but at this point, we're going to be big dogs. Got nothing to lose. Just go out there and let it loose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
just ball out.
Yeah, a lot of fun storylines at the Detroit game that I already want to talk about, but it's not midnight my time, so I'll wrap this thing up for Pop's sake. I can see he's ready to come through the screen and hit the stop button for me. So, guys, without further ado, let's end this thing the right way. Let's wrap this thing up. First Commanders playoff victory in 20 years. Celebrate it. Enjoy it. Let's wrap this thing up. I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Thank you for another great week, guys, and hail to the Commanders.
Hail. Victory.
Victory.